Arlene Foster and Paul Embry were invited onto Sunday's GB News to discuss their thoughts on Emily Maitlis' comments about the BBC's impartiality. However, the guests seemed to share the same stance, with Arlene blasting the former Newsnight presenter, branding her claims about the broadcaster as laughable. It comes after Emily criticized her former employer when she compared the BBC's impartiality rules to censorship following her move to a daily podcast at rival broadcaster LBC. Arlene began, "Well, I mean, it's laughable, isn't it, to think that Tory's some sort of Tory agenda going on the BBC? It's certainly no impacting on her output, to put it politely," she laughed. "I mean, there probably is cronyism in the BBC, but it's certainly not Tory cronyism. I think it's quite concerning though that some very senior Labour people have praised Emily Maitlis for what she had to say about the BBC. I find as disconcerting because you have people like David Dimbleby questioning what she has to say. And I mean, David Dimbleby is not known to be a right-wing Tory and has basically saying if instead of delivering a monologue, she had asked those questions, it could have been dealt with differently, but she stated those things as a fact." Arlene added that Emily was challenged by the BBC as she stated the comments she made were facts. She highlighted that many people long for the days of Lord Reith, the first Director General of the broadcaster, commenting, "When we actually had a BBC." Touching on the time when it was run by Lord Reith, Arlene said that the broadcaster considered all viewpoints in a valid way. Arlene also questioned whether Emily was impartial during her time at the broadcasting service. She fumed, "A couple of days after she left the BBC, she very clearly showed she was not impartial. This is the thing, the BBC needs to take a long look at itself. We were told that that was going to happen, it hasn't happened and it still continues." Elsewhere in the interview, Paul Embry admitted that he's struggling to agree with Emily, having been in the BBC in the past. He said, "The truth is, it is pretty much stuff full of people with left-leaning, liberal, cosmopolitan, Remain votes in, middle class, regressive bias. That's the reality of it, and I think because of the idea that every now and then a token right-winger is appointed that the likes of Emily Maitlis throw their hands up and say, this is an example of how the BBC is in hock to the Conservative Party. No, I'm not buying it, to be perfectly blunt." GB News airs weekdays from 6 a.m.